Yo, what is going on, everybody? Dan Trampty here, and welcome back to my tutorial series, Browser Noise. This is tutorial number 9, and if you've come here for the bass drop, you've come to the correct place, but you're going to have to wait a few minutes because we haven't loaded a bass. We have the structure in place for a hi-hat to sequence through an array, and so we just need to do the exact same thing for our bass and our clap, which means it's a lot of copying and pasting, which can feel a little bit tedious, but it's no big deal. Let's get to it. All right, let's first declare the variables for all of the instruments that we're going to need. Whenever you see something that has to do specifically with hi-hat, just go ahead and assume we need to do the same thing with our clap and bass. So clap and bass, and then down here, instead of H-pat, we'll do C-pat and B-pat. Down here, instead of H phrase, we'll do C phrase and B phrase. And then we'll just need only the one drums because that drums holds or basically drives through everything. So I'm going to also change all these. Wherever it says hi-hat, I'll just say instrument phrase. And then over here, I think that's the only other place instrument pattern is interpreted. Okay. Our declarations are good. Likewise, whenever we assign and initialize something that's related to the hi-hat, again, we're going to have to copy and paste that once for the clap and once for the bass. And so I'm going to select hi-hat here, hit Command D, and replace both of those HHs with clap, and you'll see that now it points to our file that's sitting in our assets folder named clap_sample. Okay, and then we'll do the same thing with the bass. And you know what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of this drums.loop because it's going to take, a different amount of time for each of these sound files to load, and we don't want to start the drums at 3 distinct times. So let's just get rid of that. And boom, boom. And now you should have something that looks more or less like this. The copy and paste job continues. We need to copy our pattern 3 times. Change this one to C-pat and this one to B-pat. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to initialize all of these to 0. Okay. Copy and paste our phrase twice, and there's a lot to change over for each of these. So C phrase, clap, clap, and then C-pat, okay, B phrase, and then we could do Command D here, bass, and then B-pat. I think that's okay. We still need to add each of those phrases to our drums part. So this one will be C phrase, and this one will be B phrase, and I think that's it. All right, to get this thing started, we're going to want to call drums.loop somewhere, and we're going to want that to be some sort of user input like a button. We already have some experience like creating a button that toggles on and off or whatever. Let's go ahead and create a keyboard stroke input. So if I hit the space bar, it starts. When I hit it again, it stops. Okay, let's get rid of our draw function. We're not going to need that. And make a function called keyPressed. This is going to add a listener on our document that listens for whenever any key on our keyboard is pressed. So we need to specify that we're actually looking for the space bar and not the D or the L or whatever. So we need to add an if condition, and that condition will be if the key is a space, right, where we have quotation marks surrounding a space, then drums.loop. All right, I know you want to run the sketch right now, and you can, but you have to be careful. Here's the thing. It is possible for a user to visit the page and hit the space bar before the drums have even loaded. If you remember before, we did have drums.loop as a callback in our hi-hat, but now that we've gotten rid of that, there's nothing preventing the drums from starting before it is loaded. So inside our spacebar condition, we are going to add yet another condition. And this one is going to check to see if hi-hat is loaded. So this is loaded method is going to return true if hi-hat has indeed loaded. But not only does the hi-hat need to be loaded, we are going to write and to check to see if clap dot is loaded and bass dot is loaded. And then we'll just wrap our curly braces around drums and indent that. And I think I forgot, I forgot the parentheses here. And what we can do is if for some reason not every single drum has loaded, we can create an error in that case by saying console.log and something like, oops, be patient as the drums load. Bop, bop, bop. All right, I know that our key press function is starting to look a little bit complicated with all of the if statements, but I just want to add one more condition to it because I want to be able to toggle on and off the drums part depending on whether or not it is playing. So we want the drums to loop if the drums is not playing, and then set drums to stop when it is playing. Drums.stop. All right, hit that run button and then hit that space bar. Check to see if the spacebar toggling system works. Oh yeah. Very good. Awesome. Okay. We've been waiting for this moment for 2 tutorials. Oh my gosh. Somebody has to like put a timestamp in the comment section for this. We're going to go to our bass pattern right here and change that first value in our array to a 1. Hit that run button and then hit that space bar. Bop. We're almost done. The last thing I want to do is show the API. We're looking at the p5.part object, and as you can see, you can do things like set the meter by passing values directly into the object when you first assign it. But most importantly, I want to show that you can set the tempo by calling the set BPM method on drums. So let's do that, and we'll pass in something like, I don't know, 60 beats per minute, nice and slow. Hit the run button, hit the space bar. Way more chill. Awesome. Okay, we sort of have a drum machine, right? We still, of course, need to create a user interface so that users don't have to write code when they make their beats. That's not really fun. So we'll address that in the next video. I'll see you then later.